What if your blood pressure was quietly rising, without a single symptom to warn you? That is the terrifying truth about hypertension, often called the silent killer. Most people do not even know they have it until it causes real damage. But here is the good news: there are powerful, natural ways to bring it down without reaching for pills. And today, you are going to discover 10 simple yet proven strategies to lower your blood pressure, starting right now. To truly understand blood pressure, think of your heart as a pump and your blood vessels as pipes. Every time your heart beats, it creates pressure to push blood through those vessels, and that pressure constantly rises and falls. When the heart contracts, pressure peaks, that is your systolic number. When it relaxes, pressure dips, the diastolic number. But when either of those numbers stays high for too long, your blood vessels take a beating. And the damage is serious. Nearly half of all heart attacks and strokes are linked to high blood pressure. But you can fight back. Let us begin with one of the most powerful tools: your diet. There is a specific way of eating that has been scientifically shown to lower blood pressure by 5 to 6 points. It is called the DASH diet, and it is not complicated. It simply means eating more whole foods, fresh fruits and vegetables, lean proteins, and cutting back on processed foods and added salt. But here is where many people get it wrong. They focus on the salt shaker at home, but that is only a tiny part of the problem. Over 80% of the sodium in your diet actually comes from restaurant meals and processed foods. Even that healthy-looking Mediterranean bowl from a cafe could have more sodium than you are supposed to consume in an entire day. And the effects of reducing sodium are not just theory. In Finland, decades ago, they made national changes to limit salt in foods and promote healthier, high-potassium choices. The result? Blood pressure levels dropped across the country. And more impressively, heart attacks and strokes in middle-aged adults fell by 80%. Life expectancy increased. All because of one small change done on a large scale. But sodium is only one part of the equation. Enter potassium, the natural counterbalance. While sodium stiffens blood vessels, potassium relaxes them. It also helps your kidneys flush out excess sodium. Foods like bananas, oranges, sweet potatoes, spinach, and beans are packed with potassium, and increasing these in your diet could lower your blood pressure by another 5 to 7 points. However, a word of caution: if you have kidney issues or take medications that retain potassium, this approach might not be safe. Always check with your doctor before making big dietary shifts. Next up, exercise. You might assume that jogging or aerobics are the only way to lower blood pressure, but new research says otherwise. A recent review of 270 studies found that isometric exercises, like planks and wall squats, actually had the strongest effect, lowering systolic blood pressure by up to 8 points. That does not mean you have to torture yourself with wall sits. The takeaway is that any regular movement helps: cardio, strength training, even low-intensity activity. The best exercise is the one you will stick with. And here is another hidden ally in your journey: weight loss. You do not need to lose a massive amount. For every 2.2 pounds you shed, your blood pressure could drop by 1 point. Small wins matter. But be careful with alcohol. It may feel relaxing, but even moderate drinking, more than 2 drinks a day, can quietly raise your blood pressure. And if you smoke, here is more reason to quit. Nicotine spikes blood pressure instantly and damages the inner walls of your blood vessels over time, making the problem even worse. Sleep is another major piece of the puzzle. Getting less than 6 hours a night increases your risk of hypertension. If you struggle to fall asleep or wake up tired even after a full night, it might not just be insomnia, it could be sleep apnea, a serious condition where breathing stops and starts through the night. This often leads to resistant hypertension, and it goes undiagnosed in many people. If your partner notices snoring, gasping, or choking sounds while you sleep, do not ignore it. It is worth getting tested. And what about stress? We all feel it, but many do not realize how deeply it affects the body. Acute stress causes temporary spikes in blood pressure. Chronic stress, on the other hand, can push us into unhealthy habits, overeating, drinking, smoking, all of which impact blood pressure. The key is how you manage it. Taking moments each day for deep breathing, mindfulness, or even just a short walk can go a long way in protecting your heart. Now here is a surprising one: owning a pet. Yes, science shows that pet owners, especially dog owners, tend to have lower blood pressure. In one study, the act of adopting a dog had a stronger effect than taking a standard blood pressure medication. Who knew your furry friend might be helping your heart? But all of this leads to a very important question: what blood pressure should you aim for? A large clinical trial found that people who lowered their blood pressure to around 120, instead of 140, had a 25% lower risk of heart attack and stroke, and a 27% lower risk of dying from any cause. Lower targets work, but they do come with trade-offs like dizziness or kidney stress, so balance is key. You do not need to overhaul your entire life overnight. Start small. Pick just one change from everything we discussed. Maybe it is cutting down on processed foods, maybe it is a daily walk, or swapping soda for water. The power is in consistent steps. Over time, they add up to something incredible. And yes, even after doing everything right, sometimes blood pressure still stays high. And that is where medications can be a helpful part of your plan. But the goal is not perfection. It is progress. So take the first step today. Choose one strategy. Stick to it. And protect your heart, for yourself and for the people who love you.